This afternoon, we just witnessed the case by the state against the protesters, and particularly two of the protesters who were taken into custody from after the violent incidents of yesterday at the State House of Assembly, after the protesters were forcefully ejected from that location. Can you please give me information regarding what the outcome of this proceeding has been and what is to happen in the coming days?
Well, yesterday, without allowing the defendants to contact their lawyers, they were taken to the Magistrate Court at Ogba at 5 o'clock, after 5 o'clock. But because the court had closed for the day, no magistrate was available to allow the arraignment yesterday. And so they were taken to Panti and detained incommunicado, no contact with anybody. So it was while looking for them this morning that I stumbled on this court. I mean, I was going around and got information that they have been brought to this court. The charge was served. Well, I actually asked for a copy of the charge. They were not given. And we're told that the court will sit at 1 o'clock this afternoon. I'm sure you just witnessed the proceedings. The court had graciously, in spite of the objection of the prosecutor, allowed them to be admitted to bail in liberal terms. But because it's going to be difficult to meet all the bail conditions today, I undertook personally to bring them, to have them released to me. I'll bring them tomorrow. Why will I meet all the bail conditions? However, earlier, the prosecutor had objected to my appearance. That a senior advocate of Nigeria cannot appear in the Magistrate Court for reasons best known to him, but the law is settled. In Lagos State, Section 9 of the Magistrate Court law allows any lawyer, regardless of his rank or her rank, to appear in the Magistrate Court to defend a client. And this provision is in line with Section 36, subsection 6, subsection C of the Nigerian Constitution, which allows anybody accused of an offense, charged before a court, to be defended by any lawyer of his or her choice. And that is what happened this afternoon. Thank
you so much, sir. And just for clarity, very quickly, sir, you did say that we weren't given what the charge against the protesters yesterday was. If I can ask for clarity.
I submitted that the charge is illegal and unconstitutional. You cannot arrest a Nigerian for protesting peacefully. And I cited, the case of Inspector General of Police and the AMPP, which I had the opportunity to handle from the High Court to the Court of Appeal, where the Court of Appeal said that obtaining police permit for protest is a relic of colonialism, which is no longer allowed in Nigeria, and that the National Assembly was ordered to make a law to allow Nigerians to demonstrate. Following that decision, Section 83, subsection 4 of the Police Establishment Act of 2020 provides that aggrieved citizens who want to demonstrate shall notify the police in writing so that the police can provide adequate security. 2 days ago, a letter was written to the police, and the police, the presence of the police was felt yesterday. Even the CP was there, right? And these guys conducted themselves in a very peaceful manner, in line with the provisions of the law. They were tear gas, some were injured. In fact, one of the reasons why I pleaded with the magistrate to allow these guys to go home is that we're going to take them to the hospital now. But they were brutally, injured yesterday.
Yes, sir. The core purpose for these protests yesterday was forceful evictions and whatnot that has been happening in Lagos State, with the latest being the Makoko incident. Can I have your submission and your position on what the Lagos State government has done with that community in Makoko?
We are going to use these cases, Makoko, Oworonsoki, Owodonire, and the rest of them. We're going to use them to stop unlawful evictions in Lagos. This country belongs to all of us. You cannot, in Lagos State, you cannot eject a tenant without a court order. A tenant, you cannot take over anybody's house in Lagos, right, without a court order. They have their land grabbing law, They have rent, and recovery of premises law, So if you cannot eject a tenant, can you now demolish the house without a court order? But that means you are also ejecting the landlord or the landlady without a court order. So, but beyond that, the Lagos High Court, that's by the Honorable Justice Yosoni Banjo, in 2017, before he retired, ordered Lagos State to stop illegal demolition. If you want to demolish, you must enter into a dialogue with the victims, or those who are likely to be victims, so that you can provide alternative accommodation for them. In the case of another case last year by Justice Ogazi of the Federal High Court, it was also to the same effect. Now you can't just wake up, move bulldozers to an estate where Nigerians live and demolish the place. But what is more, the Supreme Court has now held. The Supreme Court has now held that the Lagos State government has no control over inland waterways in the entire state. The Lagos State government. So if you have no power to exercise on inland water, can you go and be demolishing properties in the waterfront without going to Abuja
and to
negotiate with them, and also put in place a mechanism for accommodating those who are likely to be?
Thank you so much, Senior Advocate.
No, they are going to the hospital for now. Then we'll take it up from there. So because torture has been prohibited in Nigeria by the Anti-Torture Act of 2017. To torture in Nigeria now attracts imprisonment of 25 years. No option of fine. Thank you.